Thank you, guys. So we're here again with this segment here with Toni Belafonte. Let me tell you something about Toni Belafonte that some of you may not even know. That first of all, she's amazing. Okay, let's start right there. She's amazing.
All right.
All right, now Toni came from Jamaica, correct, Toni?
Yes.
There you go. So she has.
But I was very young when I left Jamaica.
Very, very young. She might have been maybe half a year. No, just kidding. Toni, hello.
Hi, Keith. Thanks.
Hi, Toni. Hi.
Hi. How you doing?
Right. So just briefly, just tell us a little bit about your roots and your transition from Jamaica to the United States.
You know, I wish I had a bigger, broader, more elaborate story to tell you about the time that I lived in Jamaica and when I moved to the States. I don't have it. But I left Jamaica when I was the summer before I turned 3. And unfortunately, I didn't get to go back every summer and hang out and really get to immerse myself in the culture because I didn't have my papers. So if I'd left, I wouldn't have been able to come back. And that was a whole nother process to even get my papers. That was a nightmare.
I hear you.
But, you know, I do say that growing up with my mother, you know, a full-bred blood Jamaican mother, I got all the Jamaican culture that I would get. You know what I mean?
There you
Just
go.
the land itself. So, you know, I was instilled with the values and the morals and the etiquette and, you know, how to pursue your dreams or how to just go after the things that you want, not quitting, pushing forward, taking what's yours, not waiting for anybody to give you anything. Just really being a go-getter, because the older you get, the more you realize that life is really what you make it.
You're an actor, and I've seen some of your work. Quite impressive, of course. And tell me some of the work you've done, commercial-wise or movie-wise. What have you? Some of your work that you've.
I've been fortunate enough to do almost 36 commercials over the last 5 or so years.
Nice.
I've done work with products from Bank of America to Nike to Poise to HGTV to Home Depot. A lot of big name brands, and happily brands that I actually were supporters of. I actually really do enjoy a Bud Light every now and again. And
okay.
So that was cool. But I've also have some indie films under my belt, a few that have done this festival route and have won some great awards. I did have an opportunity to win a Best Actress award at the Chelsea Film Festival a few years back through a film that. Thank you. Yeah, through a film that's available on Amazon Prime called Last Love Lost. But if you look up my name on Prime, Toni Belafonte, it'll pop right up.
Nice.
And I have some other indie stuff floating around Netflix and some indie sources, and still looking for some of the stuff that I've done in the past to get picked up by distribution companies. So I've been around a little bit.
So I have 2 questions. I have 2 questions to ask you. One is back and one is forward. Now, what got you into the acting idea? What was the dream? Something hit you. Why says I want to go into acting? And then after that question, I want to answer: what are your future goals in acting, and how is the COVID-19 is impacting that whole, you know, dates, time, and all the different slowdown of stuff?
All right. Well, I'll start. Can I start the second question first?
If you want to, it's fine.
Okay. So COVID has definitely, you know, shut everything down. It shut the entire entertainment industry down.
Yeah.
We did have a few opportunities come up during quarantine, whether it was productions that want to just hit the ground running when everything opened back up. So they were sending out auditions for us to do self-tapes with.
Nice.
Or some casting directors saw the opportunity to put out a call so that they could meet actors they hadn't had a chance to see on their roster or in their rooms prior. So we did have some opportunities to submit to some major casting directors who you know, either take years of work or some representation and get you in those rooms. And then we've had some auditions coming in. Oh, that's me. I was like, wait, what happened? That's me. So it definitely has impacted the industry. It slowed it all the way down. However, things are picking back up. I do have a call back tomorrow. It'll be here in home, and I'll be taping with, you know, taping remotely, and we will fly out in July if I book the project. So I guess they're still waiting a little bit before putting people on planes to get them to whatever location. So it definitely, just like everybody else, it turned it up on its. Funny enough, Keith, when I used to stay at at your mom's house.
Yes, good old days, Toni. Oh my God. Good old days.
Keith's mom used to be my caretaker and babysitter. Okay. My mom worked a lot of long hours and sometimes overnight. So
surprise, y'all.
I know, right? I learned something else today.
Yeah, he's literally seen me grow up from what, five years old or so.
Yes. And please let me interject real quick. Please, listen to me. This lady, why I think she's so amazing and I admire her so much. You see, there are people that you know, they've worked hard and they've achieved something, but she never forget to come back and say, and show herself. I remember when my mom had a birthday, I was like, Toni's in the house. I'm like, what? Where did she come from? She showed up. I mean, amazing young lady. And I tell you, what you do for my mom, it has touched me so greatly. You have no idea, Toni. I mean, whatever doors I have, it's wide open for you. And but carry on.
I would have done that 10 times over, and yeah.
All right. A little bit about you and what you do and your work. So for those of us who are watching, just pay attention to your screen, and you will see the very talented.
I'm giving you a literal get out of jail free card here. You do know Jax Cunningham, right? We need your help to take him down. I'm giving you a literal get out of jail free card here. I don't recall letting anyone make my decisions for me. We didn't anticipate falling in love with her. If I could have any of my own, I would. God knows I've tried.
I cannot believe you. What did I tell you about skipping school? What is this? Get your stuff.
You think I'm stupid, Tanya? The woman in the painting I own that you swore you didn't know? I watched her dance with you all damn night.
Oh. Hi. How you doing? I'm good. Hey, why don't you give me your number?
I have a boyfriend.
Girl, I ain't tripping about no boyfriend.
You can tell him yourself. He's right behind you.
Well, it was nice meeting you.
Toni.
Oh, that's cool.
Right. There you go.
Toni in action. I like that. All right.
Thank you.
As you watched that particular segment there, what came to your mind? Because I'm sure you had some emotions, some memory there. What came to your mind that time that day when you were in at that moment?
I don't know. I'm highly critical of my work, so nothing that good came to mind. Let's just leave it at that. So why she didn't do it like this?
So now we know that you're officially a perfectionist. Okay, we got it.
All right, yeah.
I've been working on that because I know it's not a positive quality. So I've been working on, not being such a perfectionist.
Gotcha.
But coming from a Jamaican household,
we
right.
were getting a whooping here.
Again and again.
I keep seeing Whitney Houston somehow. I'm sure you get a lot of that, don't you?
I could get more of it. I'd like some more of it, but yes, I do love me some Whitney Houston. Just an incredible talent from God, and I think her story was really a message from him to us in a way where if you don't use your gifts, or you misuse your gifts, or you mess up the gifts, then he has to take it back. You got to take it back. And, you know, gone sooner than anyone anticipated her going. But unfortunately, she was unable to get over the battle. And that's what happens. And that's why some people just got to stay away from things. You just don't know how your body, your mind, you don't know how you're going to respond.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, it kind of made me want to kind of look into a show in the future on the battle with substance abuse and how it can impact our lives. But, you know, folks, if you listen out here, you're on Let's Talk Relationships, and you can call in if you need to call in and check us out, ask some questions here. I won't answer them, so, because I'm not on trial here. It's
Oh, I am?
Yeah. So feel free to call in if you're listening, guys out there. We are now all over the world.
Yeah. Right.
Far cry from where we were last year. And we are growing. And we're getting a lot of great feedbacks. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us in the good book. And that's a good thing.
Amen.
So we want to talk about a little bit about before we close out here. What are you seeing in your future, next 2, 3, 5 years? What are some of your future goals as far as where you started from? What is some of the things that you're seeing and working on?
You know, I don't know if this has been a part of my downfall or not. I have yet to really plan 5 years out my life, 5 years out. And maybe that's a part of why certain things I'm like, wait, why isn't this, working? And because I haven't done the long term, I feel like I tend to do like big picture and then little goals. And not necessarily knowing how long how long it's going to take for me to get from here to here. Like I have concepts that I came up with in 2012 that I'm finally just now putting into motion.
Okay.
And sometimes as an artist, we need that space. You create something or you have a concept of something and you may or may not be ready to put it out, or you may just be afraid. So I had all those things going on. So it's like, okay, finally I'm like, okay, it's time. I got to push forward with this. And within the next 2, 3 to 5, I pray that I have a family, I have a husband. Okay. I have 1 to 2 babies, maybe. If I had 3, I guess I'd be going real quick.
Okay.
I would love to have a family, and I don't necessarily want to think about how I'm going to balance the family and the work. Like I know God is just an awesome God and he's going to work it out. You know what I mean? He'll make it happen. I know women who have gotten pregnant and they literally somehow got pregnant right towards the end of filming for whatever season they're working on. Then they spent the whole pregnancy maybe on press tours or something like that. That's not as strenuous. Then they had the baby while they were still in break. And then by the time they were ready to go back to work, baby was here. They kind of stayed home nursing.
It worked out.
It worked out perfectly. My mom called. I didn't put it on Do Not Disturb because I was waiting for her call.
Hey, it happens. It's live, right? It's live. It's all live. So it flows. You know what I mean? Mom is good, and that's the main thing right now.
The main thing.
There you go.
All right.
So you were saying, Toni.
Yeah. So I've been working on this dating show for a little while now. Again, concepts, ideas, not necessarily moving as quickly to put them into practice, but finally decided that I'm going to go ahead and do it. So this concept and basically, it's about love, dating, relationships, and everything in between. I consider myself an inquisitor. So,
so wait. So you're saying this is a show that you're putting on that you're going to be hosting or?
Yeah, I'm the host for.
Nice.
Okay, that sounds good.
Now this is all
So
pre-COVID. It's pre-COVID, so it's like I'm literally talking to people,
okay.
you know, with the mic, and we're like this close together. And
Oh, oh wow.
Okay, I get
so
it.
it'll be interesting to see what the reception is, how how people receive it, being that
Right.
it's pre-COVID, you know.
All right. So, Tony, I want to ask you, what is your connection like with probably your folks or with people back here in Jamaica? Is there still a connect here?
Yeah, we have cousins still there.
Okay.
So we do have, like, when we touch down, we have family that's in Kingston that we can go and see and hang out with, and
Okay.
yeah, just enjoy everything. So we're not.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I know
have you
you
done
are
any-
successful. You're a successful actress, and we like to see Black women holding it down, and doing their thing. What advice would you give to a young immigrant who just left their home country, going to another country, say like the United States? What advice would you give to them, just to, keep themselves and to be successful?
Well, that's a good question. I would definitely say if they have a spiritual practice, make sure they keep that in check. Make sure they use that, those moments every day. I like to start my day with a morning routine, which includes exercise, praying, and meditating to keep myself centered. So I would definitely say to make sure that they hold on to that, because that'll really be their compass. I would say to find cultural groups that are similar to their own culture. That way they can kind of immerse themselves in people who have been here, and that can help them just feel comfortable and welcomed in a new and strange place where they just don't know anyone. So maybe find cultural centers that, are aligned with their ancestry. And then I would say to think about what it is your mission is, like, so whatever you're here to do, and dive right in, find ways to get internships, find ways to, assist someone, ask anyone if you could be a fly on the wall. Just really have a clear vision of what it is that you want to achieve. And especially if you're in your 20s, it's not going to last that long. It feels like it will, but I mean, go after it. Make as many mistakes as you can, because by the time you're nearing out your 20s and you get into your early 30s, you want to really feel. I think that if you have a lot of courage, and courage is doing something with fear, right? It's not doing something with the absence of fear. So I think if you have a lot of courage in your 20s and you really use that and you really go after your dreams, I think it'll really fuel you and propel you while you're in your 30s, kind of like really ironing things out or finally deciding what direction you want to go in. So I would definitely say, find ways to get yourself surrounded by whatever industry it is that you want to do. And the great thing about the Americas is that there's tons of resources just by Googling, and there's, this council place here and this resource center there, and there's just plenty of opportunities for you to be helped. So you don't have to feel like you have to do it all alone.
All right. And how do we keep up with you? Where do we find you? All the platforms that you have, how do we find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook, Miss Belafonte, MISS Belafonte. I don't know if I'm still a mademoiselle. I think I might have to.
If you don't get it right, I will. I can't find you, Toni. I can't find you.
I think I might have to drop an S.
Toni, let me ask you a question. This came to my mind. Now, this show is about relationships, right? And in your work, or in your field of work, how does one have to be as far as wisdom, having the right tact, the right when to go in, when to go out, and dealing with relationships from a business standpoint to a personal things. I'm sure there are temptations. Someone to pull you here, or pull you there, offer you this, offer you that. How are you able to navigate and kind of just trust your heart and trust your senses to make the right decisions and not get caught up? How do you navigate that, and how can you show us how you navigate those things?
I think it's what you just said, trusting yourself and trusting your senses, because we all have those intuitive gut feelings that we know we're supposed to do something or we're not supposed to, yet we're calling our friend to find out if we should leave him, or we calling somebody else asking if we should take the job when we already know what we should do. And and I know I'm gonna sound redundant, but literally everything I do, I really grounded in my spirituality. I go to God with things. If I really try my best to not do anything without his approval. But if I do, I go and I ask and I say, can you show me if this is something that I'm supposed to be doing, or is this a direction I should be taking, or is this a business venture with this person that I should embark on? And whenever he gives me a sign, I listen. And that has come with also experience and maturity, because, when we're younger, we have those same intuitions. We just don't listen. We, brush it off, or we ignore the signs of a relationship of whatever sort it could be. And then I think as I got older, I recognized that, I knew that from the beginning, and I should have listened to myself. You get that notion where you're like, I should have listened. I knew that.
Yeah.
I should have just listened to myself. Why didn't I listen? So now I'm like, I'm going to listen to myself. And sometimes I'll tell someone, hey, look, this isn't working for me, and this is how I feel about it. Oh, well, you're just being this, and you're just being that, and you're missing out. And I said, well, you know what? If that's the case, that's the case, but I don't think so. And so I'm going to go this way. And if it's going to show up, it'll circle back around. So I think God needs us to know that we trust him also,
That's right.
So the more he knows and recognizes that he can show us, and then we're going to listen, he'll continue to show up for you. I think it's really difficult when I pay attention to some people that I know, and it's like, and not necessarily even know, I can just know them casually. And if they don't have a spiritual practice, they tend to be really lost. They don't necessarily associate it with that missing piece of spirituality. And when I even say that, I mean just being rooted in God, because sometimes Buddhism isn't quite all the way it. It has pointers, and I do subscribe to some Buddhist philosophies. Well, there's something about a relationship with Christ that is just different, that it just gives you a sense of comfort and guidance and groundedness, that you really just know, what? Why am I tripping? Why am I sweating this? It's gonna work out. I ask, he answers. It happens every time. Yet I somehow lose my mind, So that's really how I navigate different situations and scenarios with before embarking on any relationship. I really do pray about it, and I ask for confirmation.
Toni Belafonte, you could not have ended this segment on such a higher note. I think that's such a great way to end this segment here.